I want to talk about something that I think is really interesting in today's, when you're actually speaking in front of a live audience, which who knows if we'll ever do again, but
Well, we might do it again, but they may never see our faces.
maybe not, maybe not.
We will be covered up.
But if you ever get there and your eyes are not covered, you will look at your audience. And in the past, if you saw somebody looking down at their phone, you're thinking, oh, this person's not interested. You must be boring. That they're, and now you don't know whether they're videotaping you, if they're like it so much that they're tweeting something about what you've said or done, or where their level is. So how do you know if you're connecting with an audience, and if it's good or if it's bad if they're looking at their phone? And I'm just curious, because you do a lot of that, and I thought it might tie into what you're writing about right now.
Yeah, I in my new book, yet to be published, I talk about the audience focus, and there are 4 specific, distinct steps that the audience may appear to you as. The first one is ho hum, ho hum, ho hum, ho hum. What am I doing here? Who cares about this? The second one is, what's in it for me? So you're talking about all this gibberish. What does this have to do with my life? The third one is, you're going on and on and on, giving this piece of information and that piece of information, and then another piece of information, and the audience is sitting there and wanting to know. For example, what is an example of this?
Mm-hmm.
And finally, you have done a bang up job, and you're just ready to do your finale, and all of a sudden you're faced with, so what, from the audience. So the audience does have these 4 peculiar personality traits, if you will. The first one is ho hum. The second one is, what's in it for me? The third one is, for example. And after you've finished everything and worked your head off, they look at you like, so what?
Well, where's the one that goes, that was the best, I'm so happy? Isn't that guy? Isn't there at least one person in your audience that's thinking that? Okay.
Well, there may be, but you have to work extra hard.
Okay.
Grab the different negative viewpoints so that you can inject them with positivity. And this often happens when people are coming into your room to hear your presentation, if it's a big event, and you don't know where they're coming from, and they have to, everything in terms of time management, everything takes like 20 minutes to acclimate yourself to the environment, to the speaker, to the ambiance of the room. There are just so many different considerations. So
well, I got a question though, because as you're saying that,
but 20 minutes is a long time.
Yeah. Okay. But you know what this kind of reminds me of is VARC in the education space, how we have students take these tests to see if they're visual or auditory, kinesthetic, those type of people who can get information in different ways. So are you saying there's almost like 4 different ways you have to give the information to hit all 4 people, or where does this go?
Okay. I'm saying that, yes, that these are the audience responses because we are all imbued with information overload. But
Okay.
I'm also saying that because of these 4 possibilities from audience reaction, you have got to be extra careful, apropos of what you just said, to give kinesthetic and audio and visual cues every time you are giving an example. For example, every time you're giving an example, and if they're finished and walking out saying, "Oh, so what? What was the point of all this?" Then you did not hit all of their modalities, their learning modalities, to accept what it is that you want to get across.
I just, as you're saying this, I had an expert speaker on my show who was talking about how it's not what you say, it's how you say it, your voice, your inflection, your everything, and how you make them feel. People would always say, as when you leave, how important is the content? Because you're saying, so what, for example, that's content and not so much your voice, your delivery, you know what I mean? So how,
So important, and it's just what I am finishing in the book about. Yeah, it is how you make them feel.
Mhm,
And we don't in business think in terms of professional having emotions.
mhm,
Oh, we're not supposed to. There's that
yeah,
segregation between personal and professional. And so, and yet, it is all about emotions, which build into your feelings.
mhm,
And you've got to leave people with feeling so good about you and your brand. And you may be your brand or you
yeah.
may not, but you have to make sure that people are feeling so positive towards your brand that they will buy it.
Yeah,
And that's what we're all about.
yeah.
You want to either you want to get your people either to buy or buy into whatever it is you're talking about and selling.
Well, I'm thinking that particular speaker was great because he got people singing and people are up and dancing. And of course, if I started singing, everybody clear out. So I can't use that. But there's a thing that as you speak more, you relax more and you can be more playful and more yourself. But I was thinking of a talk I gave the other day. I got on and the guy before me was just like, and our unique proposition is this. And I'm watching him and I'm thinking, I'm so glad I'm going after that guy because it was really not very entertaining. I mean, you can make anything somewhat entertaining, and you have a very entertaining style because you're fun and you have a cute sense of humor, and people love that, right? How do you make boring value proposition type of content fun if that's what they're asking for? You know what I mean? That's a little harder than getting people to sing. Get up and we're going to sing. We're going to teach you how to talk, and that's fun. Value proposition's not so fun.
I think, I heard a speaker once talking about the economy who was and he was so entertaining. And I walked out and told the person who hired him that it's too bad he only does these headshots on television, as we're all doing.
Yeah, right.
It's too bad about that because he he is such an electric kind of speaker and talking about the most boring monotone subjects that
Right. Yeah.
anybody could be imagining. But just because a subject is seemingly dry
Yeah.
doesn't mean that the delivery has to be dry too. This guy was fun and funny, and he was talking about, I mean, he was in the president's cabinet, and he was talking about how he had to open his phone, and he showed us his phone, and he said, "Yes, everybody, I still have a flip phone." And everybody was laughing. I mean, he
Yeah.
made fun of himself,
That helps.
and
Yeah.
that always helps. I
Mm.
mean, not to the point that you
You're-
have to take, do
Every line. Yeah.
take pot shots at yourself to eradicate your great standing.
Right.
But you really have to, life can be such a struggle. Why make this into another part of the struggle?
Yeah.
This is fun. I always say, when I do media coaching, you're not here to do a presentation. And the client always says, "What? Of course I am." I
Huh?
said, "No, you are here to have a conversation. And whether it's with one person or a million people, you are conversing with somebody just as I converse with you.